Hello, my dear friends. Today, as part of our visit to the large families, we are with Dr. Finto and Dr. Asha. Let's hear them.
Good morning.
I am Dr. Finto Francis. I am working as a gynecologist at Maria Teresa Hospital, Pulkatisheri in Thrissur.
I'm Dr. Asha Finto. I'm also working with him in the same OPD, gynecology.
My name is Teresa. My name is Francis. My name is Anthony.
This is our fourth child. This is Anna.
And the fifth baby is just 3 days old. Yeah, Dr. Finto. So it's a pleasure to meet you today in this program. Actually, we are visiting large families these days. As part of this visit, we are here today. As the society is looking at kids as an addition to their maybe their monthly budget or as a threat to the well-being of the society or their family, you have opted to walk against that trend. So you have received 5 kids. So what motivated you to maybe choose for life?
So, why society is considering kids or children as a burden? That is my first question. So, the reason for such a thought, it lies behind the teaching that has been given to our society for maybe for the last 50 or 70 years. So the concept of population explosion has been taught to the kids and to the adults and everyone, and it has been put to our mind that reducing the family size is something desirable. Actually, when a child is born into a family, the all responsibility of taking care of that child, the formation, the education, and everything, the maturity responsibility of looking after that child is taken care of by the family. By the family. And once they are grown up, actually the society is benefited a lot by the family bringing up that child, and that child is now an asset to the society. And a grown up child, he is going to work and he is going to earn and he is going to support that society, and it is going to build that society.
That means the child is left alone in the society at a stage when it is a resource, not a consuming
not as a burden. So the family is taking up the responsibility of building up that child to a state where that child is going to be a big asset for our society. And the sad part is that the society is actually considering the families who take care of the burden of taking care of the child, and those families who bring up more children, the kind of harassment they are facing is actually sad. So I have been fortunate enough to read into this population control propaganda, the population explosion propaganda, and once I realized the facts, there is enough of food in our society, there is enough of opportunities in our society, there is enough of resources in our society, and we have been put to think like the world is about to explode. There is words like a carrying capacity of the earth and other words. So once we realize humans occupy only 1% of the total livable land area, we have occupied just 1% of this land area.
Of the whole planet.
Of the whole planet, where you can put a house. So, of the total land area, what man has utilized to occupy. Occupy means to put their house. 20% of the land area we have used for cultivation. So that's all. The rest of the land area is still remaining.
Yeah.
And still there are lots of countries with the population density of just 2 or 4 or 6
in square kilometers.
In square kilometers. So it is estimated that the world population density is just 40 per square kilometer. 40 per square kilometer means there are just 10 families in a square kilometer. So that is such a very low number. So once I realized the facts related to this population explosion propaganda, so the propaganda is different and the facts are different. And once I realized the resources in this world are really unlimited, so I started thinking, why should I go into this population control? Why should I budge into it? I started thinking differently, and God gave me the opportunities to learn more, and I started realizing more about it. And I have made a decision in my mind that I am going to pray to Lord that He bless me with more children. So it actually stemmed up from a realization that many of this propaganda is not real facts.
Adding to the same concept, I'm asking whether 50 years down the line, if you look back in the stage when it started and this present condition, what do you see? What effect this propaganda has brought into the society?
When this population explosion, actually this book named Population Bomb, it was published in 1968 by Paul Ehrlich, a man named Paul Ehrlich. Okay, so he started saying like if population increases in this way, in 1985 millions of Americans would die of starvation. In India, people all will die of starvation. India cannot feed its population, and all these things he was telling. But actually what has happened now, in India itself, every year millions of millions of tons of food grains, millions of tons of food grains are rotten in the godowns. And even the government is asking its farmers to cut down the production because it is getting wasted. So there is not enough of people to feed the food that is being produced here. And government are giving subsidies to export it, because if everything is kept in the same country, there is not enough people to have it, consume it. So the government is giving subsidy to export the surplus amount of food grains and other resources, and the countries are in a very distressed state. So the propaganda was like it is population explosion, but actually the current state is not explosion of population, but it is explosion of loneliness in families. That is what we are facing now. It is the explosion of loneliness. So the population control people were telling like have one child or two child, and that is the ideal for the society. But now these people all have grown up, and the people who accepted those propaganda in those 1970s, 80s or 90s, now they are in the dependent age group, maybe 65, 70, 75 years, and they are not having kids along with them. The working age people have reduced, and now it is like an inverted pyramid. The big burden of the dependent age group is now causing trouble for the society. The old age percentage of population is growing. So now it is a very, very tough situation for those countries who were coercively promoting population control and other propaganda. So once you realize the facts related to this thing, then you have all reason to rethink about this population control movement, and you have to open your eyes and see what is happening all around.
With all these theoretical background, you made a choice to go against.
Then that was the one side, and the second side is the will of God. So you cannot make children. A child will be born only if God wills. Only thing is that we can just support the creation. That is called the procreation. Creation is by the will of God. Only if God decides to give a child, we can, for a husband and wife, they can have marital act, that's all. If a child is to be born, that should be decided by the Lord, that's all. So I dreamed to have a big family. Even before my marriage, I was praying for it. So before, mine was an arranged marriage. So before marriage itself, when I was talking with my my life partner before marriage, I used to discuss this topic. And by the grace of God, my wife, she was also having similar thoughts, and God bless us.
You are still open to receive children.
Sure.
That's a great blessing. Yes. So a popular conception is that we already discussed on that addition of a children is an extra burden to the financial stability of the family. So if you share your personal experience, was it a burden to you, or how was it?
Actually, my marriage was just immediately 1.5 years after my post graduation. So at that time my salary was not very, it's okay, it was just a starting salary. But soon after my marriage, when my wife was pregnant and she was 6th month or 7th month pregnant, I got my first gross revision in my salary, and my salary increased by another 20 to 25%. So, and after my first child was born, what happened when my wife became pregnant for the second time? My wife is also a doctor, but she was not working at that time. But when she was pregnant for the second time, there was an opportunity for her to work along with me, and she got the appointment as a doctor in the same department where I was working. So actually my salary became another 50% increase once my wife also started working along with me. So when and again my family was growing. When my wife was pregnant for the third time, my wife got a government appointment, PSC appointment she got, and that became a bit more salary also was slightly increased, but it gives a bit more stability to our income, because I'm a gynecologist in a private sector, means there is some increase and decrease in the salaries. So as my family was growing, the financial side was also taken care by the Lord. And now we work together. My wife actually took leave from the government service, and she came back because we wanted to work on the same ideologies, that children are a blessing of the Lord. So she came back, and we have started working together again. And now my 5th child has come, and actually my salary has increased many times, maybe 4 or even 5 times my salary has increased from the time when I was married. So what I feel is that as the family is growing, as God knows what all you need, and He will provide accordingly.
So you're sharing from your very personal experience.
Yeah, sure.
Great. Another concern that prevents people from from having more children is the concern about how to manage kids. When managing 1 or 2 itself is a big burden to the society, that we see the young generation is struggling to manage their children. So at this juncture, how is it possible? How easy or difficult it is to manage more than 2 kids?
I feel actually it is easier, because the elder ones becomes your helping hands. I feel when one more child is born to a family, when younger ones are coming to a family, the elder ones becomes the helping hands of the mother. So my elder one is just 8 years old, but she will carry my for the child. When she was 1 or 1.5 years, she used to carry. When my little one, when she falls down when she is walking, my elder one will, or the second one will go and carry her. So there our job becomes less. If there is a single child, it is very tough, I feel, because we will have to play with them, we will have to run behind them for everything, we will have to go and see what all things are happening. But now I have 4 kids, the little ones are taken care of by the elder ones, and if anything untoward happens, it will be reported by the people, by my elder or little ones to us. So they cannot hide anything from the parents if there are more kids.
You have more eyes now. Too.
Yeah, you have more eyes to watch and report everything to you. So I feel like having more children means it is easier to look after the kids, and it is not like we have to look after them all the time. Their elder ones or their siblings will be there to take care of them and to love them, to play with them, and for all those things they are there.
How was the atmosphere of the family enhanced by the coming of a new child?
I will just share because my youngest, the fifth one, is just 1 week. My fourth child, she is going and sitting by the side of the little one, and she's just touching and she's just enjoying the presence of the little one. The same thing I have seen when my second one was born. My elder child was just 1 year 4 months that time. So when she saw the second one, my second child, as a newborn baby, her eyes was actually becoming big, and she was so excited to see the little one. So actually this is what we have seen, and that is what we have realized in the family. Though we live in a small quarters with just 2 bedrooms and a hall and a small kitchen, that's all what that is a small place where we live. But the amount of happiness that we have in our little house is actually big.
Generally, it is seemed by the society that as the children comes, the parents will have less time to communicate between themselves, and the addition of a child into the family makes their relationships or their intimacy lesser. So, is it so? What's your?
I don't think.
Does
Because when there are more children, they will go and play, and you have more time to spend with each other.
Okay.
You have more time to spend with each other. So they will be in their own world. The children will go and play or do whatever they want, and they will take care of themselves. Means they will take care of each other, and they will have time with themselves. If there are only 1 or 2 kids, then I think the parents will have to take more effort to look after these 2 kids, and they will have less time for themselves.
As the number of children grows, your intimacy.
You will have more time for yourselves.
Okay. I think that's breaking a misconception that the society
Yeah, sure.
has.
That is what we have seen. Even my family is not a big is my marriage is just 9 years old. That's all. Relatively young family, but still this is what I have felt. You get more time for yourselves. Children will be going and playing, and the elder one will be taking care of the younger ones, and you have more time for yourselves.
That's great. What about your family's spirituality?
Yeah, spirituality I have because my work schedule is a bit tough. Still, the family prayer, we find time. Even though I'll be reaching back maybe by 9:30 in the evening or whatever it is, before going to sleep we pray for some time, and morning time also I try to find some time to go for Holy Mass every day. So that is how I try to manage my time for my priority, because time to God is my priority. There is no doubt about it.
How many patients you look in a day?
It depends. It depends on different days, because on theatre day you will be having less number of patients, but other days maybe
on average
maybe 100 or.
I just want to make that point clear. So even with 150 patients a day, you make it a point that you go for Holy Mass every day. Sure. That's a great blessing.
Because without the blessing of the Lord, I don't have anything to give.
That's great.
So what I pray every day to Lord is that let He give me the wisdom to write medicines or guidance in the right direction, the correct guidance, the correct direction to my patients. So if that wisdom is lost, then nothing is there.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever I have read and learned, that is there. But still, the requirement of every patient is different. So if you have the wisdom from the Holy Spirit, you will be able to cater to their real needs in a better way.
That's great. With all these experience of yours, treating maybe many thousands of patients, and also looking after your own family with the 5 beautiful kids, what's the message that you have to give to the families in India?
I believe children are a blessing of the Lord. It is not just a blessing to that family, but that child is a blessing to that couple, for each as a person, first thing, to that family, second thing, to that society, the third thing, to the country where we live, and the next thing, to the whole world. Because when a child is born, it is not just mouth to feed, but it is hands to work. We have that child is having legs to reach out where his help is needed. He is given brain to think and solve the problems which is put before that child, because another 13 years later the problems are going to be different. Our outdated brain may not be able to solve that problems. The new brains of our kids, they will solve the problems in a later age. So God has given brain for our kids to solve the problems of the next years of the future, and He has given a heart to love. So children are a blessing of the Lord, and it is never a burden. Each and every life is a blessing. So what we have to do is to respect. You have to respect each and every life, even if it is having illness, even if it is having deformities, even if it is having even terminally ill or whatever be the status. We have to respect each and every life. We have to love each and every life. We have to protect each and every life, and we have to serve each and every life. And only in this direction you will be able to find true happiness. Only in this direction you will be able to find true progress. And this is what the gospel of life, the encyclical by John Paul II says. Respect, protect, love, and serve life. Only in this direction you will find true happiness. And that is the same thing what I would like to share with you. Life is a blessing. Thank you.
The beautiful message of life is a blessing. Let's end this conversation. Thank you so much for spending time with us. See you next time in another large family. Thank you.